Cruise Bazaar. Team makes its way back to the nearest U-Bahn station. 20 minutes later, you're on a return trip to the Cruise Bazaar, leaving the filth of the Drogon Keep far behind. Corpse lingers in your mind. You lift one of the discs that you pulled from the winter's safe to the light. Reflections dance off its surface. Hopefully, we'll have our answers soon. Crew advancement available. Ooh, this is new. As you lead your team through the shadows, companions will continue to develop and learn new combat skills. Oh, okay, so they're not just useless the whole time, or like level up and you get other people. Nice. There was somebody here, if I recall. Oh yeah, the auto injector. Someone in the Cruise Bazaar can help with the drone. Ah, fudge. I don't remember where the drone guy was. Sam was the dude that was dealing in other wares. That might be what I want, but let's just go here. Let's talk to Blitz. As he's standing right here, just check it in. Doing all right, just doing great. Real nice to be able to wind down and relax for a change. No more worrying about this ganger or that ganger sneaking up behind me and slipping a knife between my ribs. Slaps the table with a grin. It's a good change, Chief, gotta say. You can focus on getting your current job. Always 100% focused. Okay. Catch you later. Let's go check up on our goodies back here. Aw, puppers, Dante. Who do we actually have in here? Dietrich, Iger. Let's talk to Paul. Iger has told me of Green Winter's death. She said that he died in the same manner that Monica did. Shouldn't have done that. Speaking for the team is my job, not hers. You know what? Wasn't a pretty sight. Amsel nods gravely. I know that you and Eager have had your differences. I will tell you that she was badly shaken up by the sight of Winter's body. She also mentioned that you found something in Winter's safe. A package full of very old discs. May I see them? Of course. Good God. Lifts the disc from the bundle and holds it to the light. Slowly he begins to turn it in his hand, causing a rainbow of patterns to shimmer across its surface. I haven't seen one of these since I was a boy. So, funny enough, let's just, because it's super old stuff. Yeah. CDs. I mean, in this case, it's Warcraft 3, but still, you get the point. I haven't. This is a DVD. Oh, jeez. All right, storage data, or a data storage medium from the mid 2000s. I'm amazed that Winters was able to find a device that could play it. First disc that I looked at might be readable. The others are damaged, some severely so. I have my doubts about them. For now, let's concentrate on the undamaged disc. There's a little shop outside the data haven. Talk to the proprietor, Mali Hoye? Hollier? I hate you guys so much for these fucking names and places. She might be able to help. Tell her to put the cost of the device on my account. I am on it. Anybody else in here that I should talk to? Do I actually have anything in my stash that I would like? Let's unequip that, because we don't have a drone, so I'm not worried about that. Do we need that? Probably not. Let's hold on to the trauma kits. Medkit, probably a good idea. I find that we don't really deal with grenades, so let's just toss that back in there. And I'm not worried about talking to people at the very moment. Let's go get things. And yes, I know, Vandal. It is totally worth making popcorn. It's like very cinematic, and it's a good story. Oh, where the hell am I walking to? The wrong way, that's for sure. Let's talk to him. Welcome back. What can I do for you? I acquired this drone. Can you get it up and running again? Yeah, probably. Might take a bit of doing, though. Love working on these old corp drones. Can't make you any guarantees, but either way, it's on the house. Leave it in your hands. Starting it right now. See you later. Something else I want to talk about, though. I'm looking for someone that can play back a DVD RW. Yeah, let's go for it. Really? That is old tech. Very old, in fact. Just a moment. I will go look. Rummage through a bin of obsolete components at the back of her stall. Ah, yes. Here we are. Dwarf wrestles a mid-sized flat screen display out of the bin. This display has old enough hookups to connect a DVD player. RCA, you know, RCA isn't old. That's gonna make me feel super old. Whatever. The player itself, though, this I don't have. You may wish to try your luck down at the junkyard. There's a scavenger there, a primitive man with a crude disposition. If anyone here in the Cruise Bazaar can help you find your DVD player, he can. But he will almost certainly attempt to overcharge you for it. She takes a deep breath and smiles up at you. But you're not here for gossip. Shall we conclude our business? I could give you the display for, say, 200 yuan? Paul Amsel said to charge it to his account. Very well. I'll have it packaged up and delivered to Air Amsel straight away. Best of luck finding your DVD reader. Wish you well. Okay, let's run all the way down and try to get to the junkyard. Oh, he's up here. Okay. Oh, it's this guy. Shraddy. Talk to him. A stout old man looks up from whatever old tech he's tinkering with to squint at you through his thick, old-fashioned glasses. He pushes them up with an oil-stained finger as he straightens up to nod at you. He speaks with a gruff but well-meaning tone, heavily accented with German tonality. Guten Tag. What can I do for ya? Send the man to speak about DVDs. That little shrew sent you my way, huh? Well, wonders never cease. Well, introductions are in order, I suppose. Shroddy Buckman, at your service. Old man raises a grimy hand in salute. Need something salvaged? Some old components? I am indeed your man. Wonderful. How about that DVD player? Well, let's see. I think I've got something that'll work for you. Rummages through the junk heaped on the table beside him. A few seconds later, he snatches a battered plastic lozenge shape from the pile. Here we go. An old Korean player that I dug up last week. 2010 model. A real beauty. I fixed her up and got her running, but without any discs to read, I've mostly been using her as a paperweight. Sounds like what I'm looking for. How much do you want for it? Glances back at a DVD player, a rueful expression upon his face. Well, I'll admit, I'm a little loath to part with her. There's plenty of folks out there who really appreciate an older player such as this, and I don't know what your intentions are for it. Suppose, given the time and trouble I took into putting her back together, that I'd be willing to part with her for, oh, say, about 500 yuan? Ooh. Let's do it. Let's be big and brutish. Oh, alright. Arizona, you can see a scale boiling from under his mustache. Alright, fine. I see how it is. Slowly the DVD... There's a typo in there. I take it if you must, but I won't forget what you've done here today, and you shouldn't either. You should leave. Pleasure doing business with you. I'm kind of curious. Does it just like cut him off as a contact now? It does. I can't talk to him anymore. Le gasp. Safe house. Okay, run along. Let's go talk to Paul. Seems that Amsel has assembled the team in your absence. They stand in a group around the old display that you had Melit deliver. On their faces, you can see excitement and apprehension. Holy crap. Curiosity and dread. I cannot speak for the life of me. Orcish slave, have you procured a DVD reader? Let's hand it to him. Good. This should only take me a moment. Disappears behind the ancient display. After a few minutes of fiddling with the battered inputs, he reappears, a satisfied look on his face. Everything appears to be functional. The disc should be ready to play. Well, don't keep us in suspense. Start the damn thing already. Again, like, just look at this artwork. This is awesome. Orcish slave went to the trouble of fetching everything. Let him do the honors. Amsel steps back, clearing a path for you to access the antique machine. Let's go watch a DVD. Oh, jeez. Soft whirring sound fills the air as the ancient DVD player spins up to the disc up to speed. The scratched LCD display comes to life, and a menu fills the screen. Track 1 first, of course. Screen goes black, and a cheerful digital chiming sound spills out of the display's speakers. Crackle of static fills the air, coupled with a shrill electronic whine. After a few moments, the display goes live, and a disheveled-looking man appears on the screen. His eyes glitter with excitement. The timestamp on the screen is 2034, so September 15th, 2034. So this is literally like... It's not even that far in the future, and they're saying, like, CDs are... Alright, whatever. Adrienne Vauclair. Hermie. I think we found her. After all this time, Feuerschwinge, I knew that she wasn't dead. His speech is jittery. You can hear the urgency in his voice. She survived the Dragonfall. Just as I've always said, I knew it. And I was right. The screen explodes into static, and the electronic whine in the background sharpens into a needle-like pulse of high-pitched sound. Somewhere in the background, Dante lets out a low whimper. Aw, Dante. Poor little puppers. The screen clears, and the excited face is closer to the screen than it was before. The words spill out of him in a breathless tide. Taking a team into the SOX to retrieve her. The radiation be damned. We will take appropriate precautions, of course, but we must go. Hermie, I think that the body may be nearby as well. Somehow she, has survived for all of this time. The screen explodes into static again, then clears. The figure flickers across the screen. May not be back for some time. Look after Mom, okay? I worry about her. And Hermie, stay safe out there. I know that things are heating up in Berlin, and I know you. Student protests, civil uprising, you'll be in the middle of it, I'm sure. Just stay safe, alright? And I'll do my best to do the same. I don't know what's gonna happen when I step into the SOX. SOX? I don't know what it's supposed to stand for. But I do know one thing. If the Firewing is still a danger, I will put an end to her. Once and for all. Display goes back, so let's play track 2. Screen goes black for a moment, then a figure appears on the screen. Your late client, Green Winters. His elbow is planted on the table that he's seated at, with his chin, and his chin rests on his palm. The other hand is wrapped around a cheap bottle of whiskey. Okay, so that's like 20 years in the future, or 20 years past the previous track. Found the message Adrian left me all those years ago. Got it cleaned up the best I could. Strange hearing his voice again. Okay, so he hasn't been there. It's good to hear him. even if he did insist on calling me Hermie. Dr. Adrian Vauclair, the hero of the people, the Dragon Slayer, my brother. He grimaces and rubs his eyes. Hard to believe it's been almost 20 years. Alright, so I'm going to start recording these DVDs again, for me, for Adrian, for whoever might wind up watching them. Every time I do this, it winds up feeling like a waste of time, but I keep doing it anyways, on the off chance that I'll find something important. If I stumble into the clue that leads me to my brother, I know that I'm gonna want it on film. I've been doing this for almost 20 years now, after all. No sense in quitting now. Christ, 20 years. All this time and still no leads. Even with all of my contacts and my resources, he takes another long swallow of cheap liquor. Even with my legendary bullheadedness, I've made no progress at all. I haven't turned up a single goddamn thing. Want to hear something funny? The closest I've gotten to a clue was a rumor. Apparently a team emerged from the SOX a while back. Nobody's clear on the date, but, and get this, he leans into the camera and gives a conspiratorial wink. Supposedly they vanished without a trace. He upends the bottle, drains it, slams it back to the table. His eyes are rimmed with red. Not much of a rumor, considering. I already know that you're gone, big brother. I live with that every day. Oh. Track 3. Grinding sound from the DVD tray. Green Winters. And about a month after? Stumbled upon this archival footage of Feuerschwinge's original attack. Months before the Dragonfall. Easy to forget how devastating it was. Adrian saved a lot of people by bringing her down. I've got the footage all queued up to play, starting it now. Additional comments to follow. The slow whir of the DVD player shifts to a high-pitched whine. A distorted, wavering image blooms into being on the screen. A timestamp in the upper right corner of the screen marks the date, July 6, 2012. Oh, okay, so we're... I like that. That's a really cool looking effect, not gonna lie. It's difficult to make out what you're seeing at first. The screen is dark and smoky, and the telltale flashes of emergency vehicle lights flicker on the periphery of the screen. The camera pushes in, and you can make out two figures standing in a ruined landscape. All at once, the sound cuts in. Reporter. Again, for those of you just joining us, we are coming to you live from Stolberg. A few hours ago, the Dragon Feuerschwinge launched an unprovoked attack on this sleepy Harz mountain town, and you can see the results behind me. Fire, ashes, and blood. We are joined tonight by a survivor of this latest and most horrifying attack. Sir, I understand that you've been through a terrible ordeal. Thanks for taking the time to speak with us tonight. Survivor. Camera switches to focus on a middle-aged man with a haunted look in his eyes. He stammers out a reply. Yes, of course. If you could, sir, could you please tell the people at home about your experience of the attack? It was horrible. Just pure chaos. So many people are dead. People I knew. Roasted alive or trampled to death trying to escape. My own house was burned to the ground during the attack. My family, we have nothing now. You all made it through the attack, though. Your wife, your kids. Oh, dude, oh. Okay, never mind. I was gonna be like, you're really gonna be that dick that's like, but all your family's okay? Yeah, we made it. Thank God. We rode out the attack in a small shelter. Me, my wife, and our 2 daughters. I mean, it's not proper grammar. It should have been my wife, 2 daughters, and myself. The shelter, it protected us, but the heat was just unbearable. We couldn't have stayed in there much longer than we did. How long were you holed up in there? 3, maybe 4 hours? I don't know. We just stayed inside until the heat died down and the screaming stopped. And what happened after that? When it was over, you know, when the air cooled down, we stepped outside. There was nothing left. Just smoldering wreckage and this dense cloud of black, oily smoke. And the stench in the air. God, that smell. It smelled like roasting meat. There's a long pause. From the tortured look on the face, you can tell that the man is struggling to decide whether or not to continue speaking. Eventually, he does. My girls. They found what was left of their nanny outside. Her body, what was left of it, was slumped against the shelter door. I keep telling myself that I couldn't hear her pounding to get in, but that isn't true. I could. I just couldn't bring myself to open that door. I couldn't risk my family like that. Not for her. Not for anyone. Thank you, sir. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us. Yeah. You heard it here. An absolutely chilling account of tonight's attack. Again, the town of Stolberg has been reduced to ash. Another victim of the Firewing. Stay with us for more up-to-the-minute reporting on Feuerschwinge's reign of terror. Green Winter's face reappears on the screen. Okay, it's time for a new approach. Adrian's a complete dead end. That much is pretty much clear by now. So, I'm going to do some digging on Feuerschwinge instead. Let's see where this goes. And goes blank again. Track 4. DVD player ramps up to speed. Timestamp. Okay, so 15 days after, approximately. Sorry, my brain's not going to remember like numbers at this point. Green Winters. Well, that was a bust. Little progress on Feuerschwinge either. I don't know, it's weird. The information is there, it's just wrong somehow. It's too well laid out, too simple. Real life is messy, and this just feels a little too neat. That's not the only thing that's nagging at me. I'm getting that tingly feeling up and down the back of my neck again. And it feels like I'm being tracked. I'm no Matrix hotshot, like Clockwork or Schaefer, but I'm good enough to know when somebody's on my scent. Gotta install some new security measures. Can't be too careful. It disappears, goes black. A few seconds later, the main menu appears. Track 5. Okay, only a few days after the last one. Oh, Jesus, he's looking a little haggard. Christ, I'm getting too close to something. There's a trail of bodies, and there have been disappearances. Gearbox, Marcian, Peregrine, they've all disappeared within the past few years. Gearbox just went AWOL yesterday, after Borderlands 3. And they were all making the same sorts of inquiries about the Firewing that I have been. There are ghost stories spreading around the Decker community. Stories about Deckers disappearing, and then showing up again later, but wrong somehow. Scary stuff, and I'm starting to think that it's true. Blitz leans in to whisper to you. I know the stories he's talking about, Chief. Never really put much stock to him, not until now. Could these rumors be related to what's happening here? Am I being paranoid? He pauses for a moment, as if seriously considering the question, then shakes his head and slams his fist on the table. No, I don't think so. Something big is happening here, and I'm right in the middle of it. Eager cuts in. That's a bit of a leap. One other thing. Tolstoy told me a story about a kill team that might be related to all of this. Apparently a Decker named Hellebore posted a theory about Feuerschwinge to the Shadowlands BBS about 5 years ago. But an hour later, a mil-spec team showed up in a meat space and cooked her entire apartment with her in it. Ooh, is she gonna be a part of that team? Ooh, okay. What if Tolstoy told me, or if what Tolstoy told me was true? Hellebore live posted the event. She described her killer, this great big orc with skin. Oh, never mind. It's that dude from like the first episode. Then the whole thread disappeared, gone without a trace. Leap, Igerlove. Sounds like he's on the right track to me. Ager holds her silence, but concedes to the point with a small nod. On the screen, Winters pauses. He looks like he's working up to something. Finally, he speaks. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. This has got to be Feuerschwinge. All of it. Adrian was right about her. She's still alive, and she's out of the SOX. She's covering her tracks, working the shadows, preparing to rise again. And that means that I have to find you, Adrian, for everyone's sake. Thankfully, I've got a lead. For the first time in 2 decades, I've got a solid goddamn lead. I've backtraced all of the Matrix nodes that Hellbore was looking into, back before she got cooked. Whoever's been purging the Matrix didn't think about that, and I found that she's turned up. Winter stabs a few keys on his keyboard, and an image expands to fill the screen on his monitor. A satellite photo of a rural landscape, annotated with GPS data. A set of map coordinates. So now, I've got a target. A place to start digging. The Harfeld Manor. Oh, we were already... conveniently located on an isolated stretch of countryside, miles away from prying eyes. Matrix records... records... Not record, sorry. Indicate that some of the data vault exists beneath the estate. So that's what I've got to get into. This is where we came in. As if on cue, a familiar image winks onto the monitor to Winter's left. Monica. I think I'm going to tap Schaefer for this job. She's got the skills to bypass whatever security they're running out there. And she's gullible enough to take the job in the first place. I'll feed her some line about the flux state security, and she'll eat it up with a spoon. I warned her. On the display, Winter's mouth parts with a broad grin, so he's going slightly insane. Time to put plans into motion. By this time tomorrow night, I should have the information that I need. And on the off chance that Schaefer gets taken out, well, that'll tell me something too. Can't make an omelet and have all that, and all that. Until then... alright. Track 6. When you play the 6th track, a small video window appears. You recognize the scene in the window. You're looking at the tattered drapes and the nicotine-stained wallpaper of Winter's hotel room at the Das Kessel House. There's a blur of motion, and the haggard form of Green Winters lumbers into the frame. Suspicions confirmed. Schaefer dead. Christ. Winters reaches a shaking hand off camera. A moment later, he returns, clutching a cheap plastic drinking glass. He gulps something down, wipes his mouth with the back of his hand, and takes a deep breath. Okay. Back up. Slow down. Start from the beginning. Winters closes his eyes and makes a visible effort to calm himself. When he speaks again, his voice is steady. Got the call from my contact in the cruise bazaar. Schaefer killed on the estate run. Matrix security at the estate cooked her brain. Considering Schaefer's skill and experience, on-site IC must have been extreme, even by Berlin standards. Security of that kind costs money. Real money. Given the evidence uncovered so far, corporate involvement unlikely. The connection to the Fire Wing is too strong. So, let's come right out and say it. The dragon is what we're dealing with here. And the smart money says that she's coming for me next. Well, I won't go down without a fight. I've still got my contacts, still got my connections, and the flux state can be a hell of a weapon for the man who knows how to manipulate it. Winters takes another long pull from his glass, grimaces, and swallows. Time for me to make my play. Ghost stories or no, missing Deckers or no, I've got to jack into the Matrix and start pulling strings. The countermeasures that I have installed earlier should be more than enough to keep me safe for the 20 minutes I'll be in there. Silly man. Winters drains the rest of the glass, then tosses it back over his shoulder. A moment later, you can hear the dull clattering of hard plastic on the linoleum. Blah, 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 blah. Words. Schaefer's death was tragic. She was a staunch supporter of the F state. But still, all things considered. Winters fishes for something off-screen. A moment later, his hand reappears, clutching a data jack cable. Better her than me. He plugs the cable into his head, and the screen cuts to static. Eject the DVD. See your fingers near the eject button. A black screen cuts in over the static. A moment later, Wintergreen's haggard face appears. If you're watching this, then I guess they caught up to me. They will be after you too, now. What the hell is this? Why didn't you warn me about this before I came here? Yeah, we didn't know. Not exactly. I didn't come here to get haunted by a dragon. I'm not even part of this. You are now, whether you like it or not. So quiet down and stop bothering him. Gloria's kind of a badass. Whoever you are, whatever you think you're after, you need to find Dr. Adrian Vauclair. Not because he's my brother. Because if Feuerschwinge is rising again, he's the only one who can stop her. You've seen what happens to the people who get too close to this. I'm dead, and dozens of others have died. You'll be next, unless you can find Adrian. Screen cuts back to static. The message is over. The DVD tray slides out of the reader. Well, we're fucked. The room goes quiet as everybody struggles to process what you've just seen on the DVD. Finally, Dietrich breaks the silence. A dragon. Son of a bitch. Green Winters set us up against a dragon. The Firewing. She lives. I'm really starting to regret the fact that I didn't just stay at the hotel. God damn it, Blitz. Igor ignores him. Wait a minute. Or wait a second. We don't know for certain. The evidence seems pretty convincing to me, love. I'll even take it a step further. I think the secret facility that we stumbled into was her lair. The room falls silent. Igor and Gloria exchange glances. After a moment, Dietrich continues. Just think about it. The Decker that Winters got those coordinates from was posting about Feuerschwinge. Then she was killed by the same orcish bastard that attacked us after Monica died. That's a direct link between the dragon, the scarred orc, and the Harfield Manor. And then Winters was killed by the same thing that killed Monica. Exactly. My gut tells me that the dragon is down there, orcish slave. Someplace far beyond the surface. I think that we knocked on the door to her lair without even knowing it. And I think that, given what we've seen, the dragon will do whatever it takes to keep us quiet about it. Okay, going with the assumption that there is a dragon, and that she will come after us, what do you propose we do about it? I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna follow Winter's advice. We're gonna find Vauclair. Keep things simple. Hurt it. Kick in the door. Kill the dragon. Problem solved. Oh, shit. I didn't actually mean to click that. I meant to hit the first one. What we need is information. I think we should pick up where Winters left off. Need to find Vauclair. And how are you planning on doing that? Winters spent 20 years searching for him, and it got him nowhere. With the help of an information broker. Let me guess. Back to the coffee shop. For this? No. Well, I'm not pronouncing anything. Is very capable. A task of this magnitude is beyond him. And we need to make contact with the premier information broker in Berlin. We need to talk to Alice. Alice? Who the fuck is Alice? That's a Dr. Hook reference. Yay, music. Alice, best of luck. I hope that you're rich. For this, rich enough. Even if only just. Who is this Alice? A most predominant figure in Berlin's shadow community. An ex-shock... Well, what? Why do they do this to me? She provides information retrieval services for the F-State. Amsel turns to the computer console behind him and runs his finger over a virtual keyboard. The machine begins to hum. If Winters was right, if Vauclair is still alive, she can help us find him. The console spits out a stick of black plastic. Amsel plucks it from the computer and hands it to you. Here, your key to speak with Alice. A cred stick? An encoded cred stick. Yes. 10,000 yuan. Alice will not show her face for less. This represents the last of my personal savings, orcish slave. Make this meeting count. Where do I need to go? Take the U-Bahn to the Altstadt Spandau. There, you will find a connecting tube that the locals refer to as the rabbit hole. You'll find a method of contacting Alice there. Don't call it that in front of her, though. Oh, word on the street is that she hates it. Please hurry. While you're out, I will work on acquiring new contracts for the team. Alice is the best that there is. Holy crud, I can't speak. Alright, let's go and get her. Off to the streets, do 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 do.